goes. Camryn Taylor is in for the jump against Lazaria Spearman. And we are underway. It's the late hour of the ACC women's basketball season. Miami right now a 9 seed in the NCAA tournament, but a lot can change in the final couple of games. Bounce pass deflected by Brunel, and Virginia gets its first possession on a steal. Kymora Johnson to Lexia Smith. Taylor going right at Spearman and is fouled immediately.
Yeah, the last few games, Virginia hasn't been able to find the success that they've been looking for defensively. So being able to see and get a stop early out here and lead it to an opportunity where they can put the ball into the basket is always a good sign that they are coming out with the right mentality, right mindset here on their home court.
Taylor, a terrific free throw shooter, as well as her 14.4 points per game, 88% at the line. For somebody that scores a lot, she is a very efficient shooter.
Oh yeah, and even after coming off of injuries, you know, she has remained consistent, not only at that free throw line, but just her energy and what she's able to bring to Virginia's offense. She's always been reliable when she has the ball in her hands, but having to sit out for a few games there, you know, it could knock anyone off of their game, but not her.
There's the quick shot. Day Wilson getting her first look. Fight for the rebound, and it will stay at this end. Now, if you're watching most teams, that type of shot might look rushed, but that's what Miami's going to do all night long.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it. They like to get their looks early. They like to gain that confidence early, and, you know, missing shots, it doesn't dim their confidence at all.
Quick foul on Paris Clark, which might be important. She got caught in the air, flying towards Allie Stedman.
Looking like they're in a zone here, and not the best closeout for Paris Clark there. She just runs right into the shooter.
Day Wilson looked uncomfortable trying to inbound that. Here's Lattimore baseline, and we have our first Miami bucket of the game.
Tough basket, Zaylen. We talked about it before this game that Miami's going to look to score early and often. That low drive there going towards the baseline is just so tough for Lattimore.
Lexia Smith, a little too hard off the glass. Taylor, rebound in a crowd of Hurricanes, and she gets fouled. Miami does have a big option off the bench in Kyla Oldacre. We'll see how quickly we see her if Camryn Taylor keeps grabbing rebounds like that. Johnson goes down. Day Wilson says thank you very much, and here she goes. Cheyenne Day Wilson able to find an open shooter, and it's off the front of the rim for Jada Patrick, but it stays with Miami.
That first rebound is going to be so important for Virginia.
Travel. It's a travel on Stedman. It was a look of worry for a second. That might have been the second foul on Paris Clark, but she was clean. Miami in a zone. Clark open in the corner, able to hit the three. The first field goal for Virginia.
Paris Clark being able to see the first one go down is such a confidence booster for her. Virginia's going to try to make Miami pay playing in that zone.
Always shoot your way out of a zone. Spearman, tough drive right into the chest of Brunel, and it's an offensive foul. What do you make of that call?
Well, we talked about matchups very early on, and if you saw when she caught the ball, Brunel was sitting back in the paint, allowing her the opportunity to drive. And once she did start taking those few dribbles into the paint, Brunel went to go meet her and was the aggressor there.
High-low play to Camryn Taylor, and what a start for Virginia.
Beautiful high-low execution by your two big girls. Easy give and go there for the quick bucket.
Day Wilson able to get inside at Johnson to the right hand, too strong. Rebound by Spearman, missed it. Grabbed by Paris Clark. She's all alone, but she's looking to go. Johnson open, just missed it. You can hear the groan. The crowd was ready to erupt. Day Wilson trying to run again, but intercepted by Brunel, the hustle. Now Clark for three. Oh, this is as run and gun as it gets. This is fun basketball.
Oh, yeah, we knew Miami was going to get up and down, but don't forget, Virginia can go just as well. Unfortunately, not able to see the ball go through the basket, but one thing that I noticed in the Miami game against Florida State is that they are not going to slow down. Even when the ball's not going through the net, they are confident that they're going to start hitting.
Excellent cut by Patrick, and it's easier to hit when you're right next to the basket like that.
Yeah, Patrick and all their guards are so good at slashing to the basket, whether it's for a pass or a drive themselves. Virginia has to do a better job of staying between their man and the basket.
7-4 early, 6:38 to go first quarter. Shot clock getting low. That hasn't happened much. Kymora Johnson with a creative layup attempt, got her own rebound. Smith. Paris Clark with the floater. Anything but down. But the ball skips out for a moment, stays with Miami. Cheyenne Day Wilson met by Alexia Smith, and we have a blocking foul. That's going to go against Cheyenne Day Wilson.
Yeah, we're seeing Virginia be the aggressors here. When they go to the ball or when they pursue the person with the ball first, they're usually the ones that put themselves in a really good position for Miami to end up with the foul call.
Upon further consideration, it was against Alexia Smith, but Coach Mox is none too pleased. Alexia Smith did not start the last match. Her injection into the starting lineup might have been to bring that authority, that energy. She is a very active defender. Day Wilson, 5 on the shot clock. Lattimore, contested by Taylor. Got her own rebound, missed it again, and it's snagged by Smith. Johnson, the fabulous freshman, nearly threw it away. Take a breath. Coach coming in with a call from the sideline. Kymora Johnson with 13 to shoot. Eden, Camryn Taylor, turnaround, and a basket.
Miami's getting a lot of help in the paint, but it does not matter. It's not phasing Camryn Taylor with that last bucket.
Allie Stedman to Patrick. Going to go at Paris Clark with the up and under. Missed the shot. Active hands for the rebound. It comes free to Kymora Johnson. Brunel ready to shoot. Missed it. And the rebound for Day Wilson. Cheyenne Day Wilson looking at a step back. That's the matchup we highlighted pregame. Her against Paris Clark. Was able to stop the initial drive, but she might just have to do it again. Oh, from deep, Day Wilson. How about that one?
Cannot relax no matter where she is on the court. She was steps behind the three-point line with that one and shot it with the same confidence that she's shot time and time again this season.
40% three-point shooter on the year. Cheyenne Day Wilson. Who cares if you can go through Paris Clark, if you can go over her? Camryn Taylor on the baseline with the answer.
Her ability to be able to knock down that mid-range game has been such a difference maker for her game. Defenses have to respect that shot.
Now Kymora Johnson drawing the assignment against Cheyenne Day Wilson. Lattimore can shoot that, but decides to drive and lays it in. She's had an excellent first quarter.
Oh yeah, a few times here we've seen her drive that baseline or try to drive into the middle, use that lane, those gaps, and she's doing such a good job of getting there and was able to see that one go through.
Screen from Taylor. This is 3 for Alexia Smith. Hasn't shot it too well this year, but Brunel once again is there scrapping for the ball. Clark has it. It's tipped free to Day Wilson. Patrick. Day Wilson. Another defensive assignment back to Alexia Smith. Gets to her right hand. Lattimore working that baseline all morning, and she missed the layup. It was Kymora Johnson that came out. And she'll take her second three and gets the hometown roll. My goodness, the 4th time it touched the rim, it finally went in.
Every bounce counts, eh? That's 3 so far. 3 points there for Johnson.
Suppose one for each bounce. Lattimore again slashing to the basket. She is just forcing the issue.
Oh, yeah. She's not thinking about it too much. She's reading the defense really quickly and then just finding the gap.
Jumper from Camryn Taylor, in and out. And Miami gets back into its usual pace. A look towards Katie Meyer on the Miami bench in her 18th season as the head coach at Miami. Patrick, bit of a contested three, but she got it off and missed. Camryn Taylor had company and she didn't know it and got fouled by Lattimore. Virginia has come.
And, you know, you have one of the best assists or best point guards on your team in Kymora Johnson, and she is second in the ACC alone in her assists as well with 5.5 per game.
The starters were doing well with that. Well, Virginia's gone with nearly a full line change, 4 or 5 new players. Jill Brown, one of them, has the ball in the corner with 10 to shoot, trying to feed the post. London Clarkson had it slip away. Picked up by Oldacre. Patrick going at Jill Brown and finds a quick basket.
So quick. As soon as they get the ball, they do such a good job of ripping it low and staying tight to that defense and just flying right by their shoulder.
Brown feeding it into the corner. Alexia Smith, the only player that's been out there the whole game so far. Back to Jill Brown, and she hits the three.
First bucket, first shot of the evening goes down from deep from Jillian Brown. She does such a good job of being a slashing guard, but she's also capable of knocking that down a time or two.
It's just been a frustrating year for her from three-point range. Feed into Oldacre, and she scores in response. Jill Brown now just 7 of 33 from downtown this year. That a big relief that she was able to cash one in, because you know she can shoot better than the 20% she's on right now. Hot potato for London Clarkson. Smith. Pull up. Oh, yes. That is a friendly rim for Virginia tonight.
Oh, yeah, that certainly helps. Miami's doing such a good job of defending inside that paint, right in that zone. So the more that Virginia can knock down those mid-range 15-footers, the better they'll be.
Oldacre double teamed. The feed deflected by Alexia Smith. It's a tie-up with Oldacre, but she's battled her way out of it and then turns it over. Caden Lawson has it. And there's a foul called on Allie Steadman.
Great effort. Second attempt there from Smith, just coming in and getting into that zone. Help the helper. I'm sure Virginia practices it just like every other program in the country of when one person goes to trap, making sure that opposite guard gets in that lane and prevents an opportunity for a wide open layup, and Alexia Smith did that.
Has to shoot it, does, and hits the three. What a way to end the quarter for Alexia Smith with 5 straight points. Virginia's up 7.
You learned that very quickly in the ACC. They were able to get a win over top-ranked NC State throughout this ACC play as well. And she's saying that every team, whether they're ranked or not, doesn't matter. It's going to help with that resume when the time comes.
Jillian Brown able to hit the pull-up jumper, so she's hit a couple of jump shots early in this game. Good set for Virginia to start the quarter. Roberts turns down the long jump shot to try and get into something else. And it's interesting because the schedule is easier for Miami, which is hard to do in the ACC, down towards the end of the season. Oldacre battling for 2. But with the easier schedule comes the risk that if you lose a couple of those games, they could be considered bad resume losses.
Yep, that's what she's saying. Every win, resume builder, especially when you're in a league that plans to send 9 teams into the NCAA tournament.
Odessa Noyen from the corner, and she hits it.
Odessa Noyen has shown and improved all season long, from her confidence to her ability to knock down shots and make an impact for Virginia, both on offense and defense. That presence does not go unnoticed anymore.
Now 4 for 8 from 3 for the year. Virginia's shooting the ball exceptionally well. Day Wilson's been shooting it well all season. She gets 2.
Yeah, Cheyenne Day Wilson The transfer from Duke has come to Miami and made waves. She's creating history here at Miami, as she did for the Duke Blue Devils as well. And it goes into her being disciplined. When I talked to Coach Katie Meyer about how she is so unstoppable. Everyone knows what she's great at, but she's still unstoppable. And she said it's her discipline for her shooting pocket, getting in that shooting pocket and making sure that she's making good reads out of it.
First appearance of Olivia McGee. Been a big role player for Virginia so far this season. Part of a very good freshman class trying to counter scorers like Cheyenne Day-Wilson. This time Roberts will shoot the open shot, and she hits the three. 34% from downtown this year. Cashes another one and cuts the Virginia lead to 5.
Roberts is junior. She's been a player that has gotten better every single year. She's becoming more and more reliable right there.
Look at the shooting. London Clarkson knocks down a mid-range jumper. It is notable that Miami's now moving a lot slower in this second quarter.
Yeah, Virginia's doing a good job of sending people back to make sure that they stop the ball early in transition, not allowing Miami to do what they like to do, which is run.
Now Cheyenne Day-Wilson's going to have to create something. Dishes. Jab step. Drive from Williams into the corner and missed by Roberts, but they got all the way to the end of the shot clock. That is impossible for Miami. McGee gets an open three in transition. Misses it, but Clark's there for the rebound, and she sticks it back for 2.
Offensive rebound there for Virginia, their 4th of the game. They haven't killed Miami on the offensive end, on the offensive boards because of it, but it's providing more opportunities for them to extend this lead early in the game.
Patrick misses the shot. Oldacre gets the rebound, and she has been influential off the bench.
Doing the dirty work in the paint. Oldacre has been so pivotal there. She has 6 points, 3 of 4 right now, just getting her hands on the balls and making sure that she's being strong down there with her finishes is a difference maker.
And Oldacre's called for the foul after all her good work against London Clarkson. Here are Sunday's ACC Network women's basketball games. 19th ranked Notre Dame to take on Boston College at noon Eastern. Then number 8 Virginia Tech will host North Carolina at 5:30 Eastern. You get number 6 NC State squaring off against Duke. There are almost no bad games in ACC women's basketball. It's amazing that way. Clarkson at the line, hits the front end. It's the first foul on Oldacre. London Clarkson has been the contributing low post presence off the bench for Virginia. She started, of course, but put up good, solid numbers all season and hits both free throws.
Zealand, you talked about it. Not only are there no bad games in the ACC, at this point in the season, you're getting the best out of these players who know that the end is coming soon and wanting to be able to have some control about how it ends.
Just no easy games either. This Miami team desperate to try and pick up a win after that loss against Florida State. Up against it on the road, but a very nice, easy basket for Lazaria Spearman. McGee trying to feed the post. It's contested by Roberts. Back to Olivia McGee. Kymora Johnson, long three, and she connects again.
Tough basket there. You even see her getting into her pocket. We talked about, the pocket of Day-Wilson, but even if it is a bad pass, Kymora Johnson's just being so tight with the ball to get in her rhythm and be able to be so efficient. Right now, she's 2 of 3 from deep.
31% shooter on the year, but that's an incredibly high volume, and they're not always easy three-pointers. She really has a great shot. And how about the defense? Taylor got in there against Lattimore. We had a whistle go against Virginia.
Once again, Virginia getting on the floor first for the ball. But here you take a look at this three-pointer. It's a little out of her element on the left side of her body, and she's able to get the ball in her right side pocket, get her elbow underneath, and see it through.
Open look on the inbound, missed wildly, but rebounded by Spearman. Spearman sticks it back, misses wildly again, and Virginia has the ball.
Spearman has done a good job of corralling the ball, but she's going a little quick there on her moves.
I call it travel. All that contact, and it's a travel on Camryn Taylor. But it is a 10-point Virginia.
Wide open threes, even with the hand in their face, they're able to get the ball right into that shooting pocket and get comfortable behind that three-point line. We've seen this Virginia offense get increasingly better and more efficient from behind the three-point line, and tonight that is on a full display.
Yeah, these sets have been nice from Coach Mox and her team, drawing up opportunities for players to get open. The shooting has been nice. The feet have been set. Players have been open. It's just a wildly impressive offensive display from Virginia. But Miami, comfortable coming from behind. They've done it twice in the last 2 weeks. They're going to have to do it again on the road. Spearman, that's a start.
That baseline move is impeccable for these Miami post players. That quick first step makes all the difference.
Burnell in towards Camryn Taylor, gets to her right side. What a shot by Camryn Taylor.
And what she does is just as special, surveying the defense with the ball over her head and then makes her read. And sometimes it looks like she's not going to make it, but she has such a good touch around that basket.
Oh, airmailed the layup there, Patrick, and Spearman took a shot to the face. Hope she's okay. She's behind the play into Taylor on the fast break. Missed, and Virginia trying to settle the ball, but it will go with Cheyenne Day-Wilson, and the referees will wisely stop play. Spearman battling for the rebound after the putback attempt from Patrick missed. Looked for all the world like Patrick was just going to lay it in, but her brain and her body were moving at different speeds, and the officials are actually going to take a look at the battle in that rebound.
Yeah, looks like they may be looking for something like a contact lens on the ground, or she may have it in her eye, but have a team of folks looking on the ground there.
In the starting lineup today, Lazaria Spearman. She is an explosive player, averaging 6 and 6. Oh, it was her own teammate. Friendly fire.
Yeah, Patrick came down there with her arm.
An efficient review, understandably. Unfortunate crossfire for Lazaria Spearman, but hopefully she'll be able to return to the contest. She had been one of the bright spots for Miami through the first part of this first half.
Yeah, so far 2 of 4 from the floor, 3 rebounds, and her presence mostly on that offensive end in the paint has been big for them.
That's just insult to injury for what's been a tough night, though, for Jada Patrick. She's 2 of 8 from the floor, including the 2 misses on that last possession, including 0 for 3 from downtown. Tough drive by Lattimore, everywhere but down, and Virginia has it, looking to run.
Love Lattimore's tenacity in the paint. She does not see anyone in front of her. She is going to make a way for herself as Virginia's Clark comes up with a foul, an opportunity to capitalize off of a foul, I should say.
Virginia is trying to get after Miami really with their own game. They're getting up and down the floor after these Miami drives, and they're getting ahead of at least one of the Miami players.
Yeah, give them a dose of their own medicine. Oftentimes when a team puts something on you that you don't do for yourself, they oftentimes don't like it when it's done to them, and Virginia has been able to do so.
Here's our next gymnastics meet right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Sunday afternoon, NC State squares off against Pitt at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern. You thought we were just going to talk about basketball today. No, we've got gymnastics for you, too. ACC Network has everything.
I'm not sure if you've watched gymnastics this season, Zealand, but my parents got me on it mid-season, and it's on my television a lot more than it's ever been. Watching those young ladies do what they do at a high level, it's amazing.
Speaking of high level, Paris Clark with a really excellent block. Virginia up 11 with the basketball and a travel. That's the second travel on Camryn Taylor.
Camryn Taylor.
An explanation, perhaps.
No, she actually hit the ref accidentally as she was coming down from that layup. Wanted to make sure that the referee was okay.
Despite those two travels, Camryn Taylor's had an excellent start to this game. Cheyenne Day Wilson driving mid-range, and she traveled. Well, we've had a travel agency open up in the last 30 seconds. Oh. Well, you don't want to make them angry.
Yeah, got to make up for it with a nice little side hug. Make sure that everything's kosher moving forward.
So Virginia up 39-28 in what could prove to be an important game for ACC tournament seeding on the Virginia side. Johnson disrupted by Lattimore. And those go-go gadget arms in the lane. It's not a lot of room for Kymora Johnson, who's giving up almost a foot. Nine to shoot for Virginia. Alexia Smith had a big first quarter, but back to Johnson for three, and she has three of them now.
Beautiful down screen to open up the freshman for a shot that wasn't wide open either. Hand in her face, and once again able to get the feet underneath her elbow in, and see it down the net. Quick twitched and able to cash in.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free, so he was happy to...
Katie Meyer had seen enough, called a timeout because Virginia's up 14 on Miami right now. The offensive execution of the Virginia Cavaliers has been the story. It has been the difference, but maybe the biggest difference maker has been Virginia's defense. Lattimore working on Brunel to her left hand, and she has another bucket.
Beautiful, having a field day in that paint. She's 4 of 8 so far from the field.
It's really been the bigs going one-on-one. We've seen some of that from Lazaria Spearman as Virginia turned the ball over, and Latasha Lattimore has also gotten herself involved off the bounce, getting towards the basket.
Yeah, we talked about the post matchup before this game as Kymora Johnson comes up with the steal here, looking for transition options.
Brunel, Smith, Camryn Taylor loves that jump shot, and she'll make it all day long.
Smooth like butter. Camryn Taylor's mid-range game has been so consistent this season.
Paris Clark's gone down. Patrick will take the open jumper, and she hits. That's big for her confidence, and cuts the lead back to 12. That was Virginia's biggest lead at 14 there for a second. Second time they've been at that in moments.
Yeah, Miami's going to put some pressure on them here to slow them up offensively.
Camryn Taylor, nobody can slow her down, but she did miss the shot finally going to her right hand. Full court for Roberts, and there was no call on any of that. It wasn't out of play until it hit Jasmine Roberts in the back.
Yeah, that was an odd sequence of events, or just one event, really. Nobody ever stopped her in transition. Everyone's running on the side of her, and then she tries to shoot a layup.
Tied up by Brunel, but no jump ball. Not enough of a tie-up for that, and then just, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's one of those plays. That's one of those plays you hope that coach doesn't bring up in film.
Just weird all the way around. Johnson with the loose right-hand layup, rebounded by Nguyen. Kymora Johnson baseline jumper, and she cannot miss right now.
On fire, playing with swag. Hometown hero.
Kid from Charlottesville able to make this kind of impact in her first season. Long jumper from Roberts missed. Virginia up 14 with the ball. I say if you're Kymora Johnson, just give up on the layups. Just take jump shots from everywhere. She's only missed one of those this whole game. And she pulls out of the drive to take another jumper, but I jinxed her, and it bounces free to Nguyen. but she turned it over, but Day Wilson couldn't handle it.
Turnover to turnover. Miami's definitely not in their zone right now. You can tell Coach Meyer is not happy with the lackadaisical play of her players right now. And Virginia's, they've been scoring, but just a careless mistake there on that possession.
Virginia's winning the 50-50 balls, but it's also getting the lucky bounces. And one of those is that ball went out of play with 29.4 left in the first half. So Virginia can hold for the last shot after all that. Which means the Cavaliers will enter halftime up at least 14. Johnson with the feed to Clarkson, but it was an offensive foul, and Kymora Johnson is down. Oh, boy.
Holding her ankle there, not sure if she stepped on someone's foot or what happened there, but hope that she's able to get up from this one.
Kymora Johnson is the engine that makes Virginia go, even though she's just a first year in Charlottesville. She's a 15-5-5 type of point guard that can score in bunches, can stretch the defense with her shooting, and has been a huge difference maker in this game, scoring in double digits in the first half. And that, it's good to see her walking off, but that is a scary sight for Cavaliers fans.
Yeah, making a name for herself in the ACC. It looks like she stepped on Jada's foot there. Or I'm sorry, Robert's foot there.
Trying to draw the charge, which she did draw. So it is Miami ball with 12.2. Chance to try and cut into this lead. As Kymora Johnson got a head start to the locker room. We'll see what happens in the second half with her injury. But right now, Miami in need of a bucket. Lattimore, tough jumper, missed it. Rebounded by Virginia, and what a first half from Virginia.
I mean, Virginia's having one of the...
Returned after her injury right at the end of the first half. And, well, I don't think that was the issue with her ankle, but it's going to take just a second to get her wired back into this game, apparently.
Yeah, she was a little shaken up there at the end of the first half, and coming out starting the half with a turnover isn't what you planned, but an opportunity here to get something going on defense.
Day Wilson blocked by Sam Brunel, who's contributed on that far right side of the box score all over the place today. And Virginia's back in possession.
Yeah,
Day
Cheyenne?
Wilson's...
I think we're going to say the same thing.
We were, yeah. Well, it sounds better when you say it, Lauren, so why not?
Well, Cheyenne Day Wilson, we've talked about her in the open. 11 straight games of double-digit points, and today only has 5 points here so far, and she's getting things in the paint. She's trying to make something happen offensively for herself, but she's doing a really good job of getting other people in it as well.
She's one of those players, no matter what the game is, whether the team's winning or losing, she's going to get hers, and not in a selfish way. Who did that go off of last? It was Virginia. Alexia Smith trying to chase it down after the Day Wilson miss, and it will be another shot for Miami at this end of the floor. I'll tell you, Virginia was probably hoping that first half wasn't going to ever end. The energy in the building was fantastic. The shots were falling. Fumbled ball by Spearman. She gets inside, missed it. Lattimore clearing space, tipped away by Taylor. Last touch by Virginia. But it's tough to restart that momentum when you get into the second half.
Yeah, when you take that break. But, you know, what was working for them was that they were executing their plays. So if they stay with the game plan, right? We've talked to Mox all season long, and she said, if you stick to the game plan, we will be successful. And that's what they're hoping here.
Well, Day Wilson's missed 2 threes early. Lattimore's gotten a couple of offensive rebounds, though. Finally, Taylor gets her hands on it, and she's fouled by Lattimore. Latasha Lattimore has been the best player on the floor for Miami today. I'm not afraid to say that.
Oh, yeah, she has been putting her entire heart and body out here on the court. She's trying to will this team to a victory on the road. As we've said time and time again tonight, that every game is a resume builder in the ACC.
It's a second pass from Kymora Johnson that has not been received well. Paris Clark didn't quite know it was on the way, but Kymora Johnson has the ball and is calling the offense. That pass worked out, and Camryn Taylor's on the move. Clark for 3. Just skipped off the rim. Brunel the rebound.
Brunel having a quiet night tonight for Virginia. No points yet, but she has 4 rebounds so far.
Very involved defensively as well. Active hands in passing lanes. Clark with the drive, misses the layup. Taylor with the foul coming in behind on Spearman.
Camryn Taylor being her aggressive self off of those rebounds, and only her first personal foul of the evening. Earlier in this season, she really struggled with staying in games because of her aggressiveness, specifically on the boards, and she's done a really good job of pacing herself and balancing the times where she has to go full throttle with her aggressiveness.
Roberts missed the 3. The shooting starting to abandon Miami. It was there a bit at the beginning, but Virginia's pulled away because Miami hasn't been able to sustain those shooting numbers. Just 2 for 12 now from 3-point range. Alexia Smith to the right hand. She was fouled by Day Wilson.
Yeah, we talked about Virginia. How do they continue the momentum from the first half? And it's by staying aggressive. If you remember those first 2-3 minutes, they were the aggressives. Although Miami was running with them, Virginia was the first players on the floor, first players to 50-50 balls.
Wednesday at 9 Eastern on ACC Network. It's the premiere of Coach K and Roy Williams' Rivals Reunited, a 1-hour special featuring coaching legends Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Williams sitting down together for an extensive conversation for the first time since their college coaching careers began over 40 years ago. A must-watch.
Oh, yeah. Opportunity to sit down with them. I wonder what the first question Zealand would ask them.
Were you ever worried that there would be more mispronunciations of Krzyzewski?
I doubt he even cared about that, right?
He sat down at the opening press conference. He laid it out for him once, and that was it. And when you win a couple national championships, people learn how to say your last name. That's for sure. Well, to catch up, Alexia Smith made her free throws. Miami turned it over, and Virginia's got its biggest lead of 16. Trying to add to it, Camryn Taylor got Lattimore up in the air. That's her second foul. And then everything just continues to go right for Virginia. Miami hasn't scored in the second half in 3 minutes now.
Yeah, we see Cheyenne Day Wilson leading that huddle there. Here, using a pump fake. Oftentimes we see Taylor skyrocketing over defenders, but here she knows she's going up against a springy Lattimore and is able to get up in the air and make her pay.
And a 3 from serious distance for Johnson. Well, that was Brunel, and she missed it, so Virginia able to get a long rebound and reset. Sam Brunel still scoreless, but has contributed to this game as we've detailed. Paris Clark. Kymora Johnson seems to be moving well enough. Shoots the floater. How do you like that one?
Nice floater there. Reading the defense, not getting too deep to where the defense can alter that shot. Beautiful floater.
Drive into the lane, flicked up and in by Roberts. She needed a map to find her way through that number of defenders, but she did.
And Roberts is really strong. You know, she's small, but she's mighty. She's able to see through defenders, find gaps, and use her body to power herself through.
Alexia Smith, mid-range. Her jumper is cooking today. She is not normally a great jump shooter, but she has found the stroke.
Stroke and the confidence. 9 points for Alexia Smith. Talk about her being in the starting lineup tonight. Wonder if that had something to do with it as well.
And she's averaging just 3.6 per game. And look at the trap from Virginia. Forces a timeout from Miami. This is a wildly impressive performance for the Virginia Cavaliers, and the crowd knows it.
Brilliance, and Virginia's handling things with their home crowd on such a great occasion.
And Virginia doing its best to honor that with an 18-point lead right now. It's an interesting feed. Somehow found Oldacre, and she somehow found a field goal.
All game long, she has been seeing through defenders' hands, bodying her way to what looks like could be and one buckets. A lot of contact on these baskets that she's able to see through.
Every single one of her buckets has looked like a car crash, and a bad pass here from Sam Brunel that Johnson's going to have to touch for a backcourt violation. So a good start for Miami out of that timeout that was taken. Something that's worth noting is Miami, while it is behind, has exploded to come back from behind in a couple of games recently. At home against Clemson last week, I suppose a week and a half ago, ended up in overtime after being down 17 at the half. Well, now they're down 18 with 15 minutes left to go. So this is an even tougher challenge, but they have done something similar. There's Oldacre again.
And going with what's working, right? They're not going away from going inside the paint, even if it's off of a drive and Oldacre's able to get a rebound. But here defensively, they're trying to do some things differently with more pressure.
The defense is sparking the offense for Miami, and they're getting on the floor. Jillian Brown there with a tie-up against Cheyenne Day-Wilson. A very good brief window there for Miami. A quick 4-0 run into another break. What she's selling when she says every game matters. She just kept coming back for more.
Not calm on a basketball court, but off the court, you could maybe get calm in there.
Perhaps at some point. You hope maybe for the blood pressure she's calm at some point, but she's flying around over there on the bench again. Her team trying to pull off a big road comeback. And Miami right now is pretty safe on the right side of the bubble, but a loss against a Virginia team that is 12-13 on the year would not help out with that situation, even though it is on the road, and Virginia is 65th in the net. Strong drive, and too strong, but a foul. See who it's called on, but it will be a couple of free throws for Miami.
Good take there, going hard to the right side, trying to get something going offensively. As we've talked about time and time again, the post players have stepped up. Oldacre is leading the team right now with 10 points. And the next player is with 8 points is Lattimore, who we've seen time and time again with her drives to the basket. Cheyenne Day wants to do something here for the guard.
That was the second foul on Odessa Noyen. Here are Sunday's ACC Network women's basketball games. 19th ranked Notre Dame to take on Boston College at noon Eastern. Then number 8 Virginia Tech hosts North Carolina. And at 5:30 Eastern, number 6 NC State will square off against a Duke team that is handling Syracuse right now. So some tasty matchups this Sunday. Block off your calendar. You know, sometimes a stat pops off the display at the bottom of your screen there that even I can't believe. Those are the first free throws Miami's taken all game. That is insane. And a sign that they're not really playing their game, but they're starting to get into it. That's a third travel on Camryn Taylor.
Well, you know, that actually might have been another reason why Coach Katie Meyer was going off on the refs there, because her team they've been getting some aggressive defense, specifically in that paint with the post players.
You've noted it around Oldacre. But the tallest player never gets the foul call. But now, all of a sudden, the fouls are going Miami's way. It's amazing what a brief conversation with the officials can do.
Just a few minutes ago, Coach was calling for fouls, calling for contact, and now her players are taking advantage of the opportunities to get into the lane, but also make contact with Virginia defenders who are riding their hips right now, not getting 2 feet in front of Miami drivers.
They called the swipe instead of the body contact, so it's a first foul on Jillian Brown instead of a third on Odessa Noyen. Miami now 3 for 3 at the free throw line, a second for Roberts, who's 80% on the year. But she missed it. Well, this is a bit of a mini run now. 7-0 run for Miami. We'll see how Virginia responds to a bit of adversity. It's been all roses so far for the Cavaliers. Clark, they're trapping Johnson off the ball, making somebody else score it. Paris Clark couldn't. Tipped free, and it's all green grass for Patrick. But she had it poked away by Paris Clark. How do you like that hustle?
Good hustle there to help her teammate, the freshman. Johnson was down there in the lane by herself and was going to have to defend multiple green jerseys. Paris Clark comes in with her length yet again, making a defensive play to put her team in better position to get set up.
Cheyenne Day-Wilson Going to need a big last 13 minutes if Miami is going to complete the comeback. Mid-range, that is her money zone.
You don't want to wake Cheyenne Day-Wilson up because she's been able to do great things offensively all season long, and if you get her in the right spot on the court with a hand down, she's going to be able to knock that down all day long. Look at what Miami has been able to do, right? 9-0 run in the just the span of a few minutes here.
They've been trailing Virginia basically the entire game. The Cavaliers now back into a single-digit lead. Virginia stretched this thing out in the second quarter. Coach Mox trying to rally the troops. That the first time Virginia's had to dip into the timeouts. Tonight at 10 Eastern, after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the day in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every game and look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. That's coverage you can only find in one place, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. ACC women's basketball has been getting its due this season. Paris Clark with the open three, missed it badly. Jillian Brown couldn't find the ball, and it skipped free to Camryn Taylor.
Yeah,
now Jillian Brown. Oh, she missed badly again. Well, the shots aren't falling, but Virginia's still scrapping. And we had a foul called on Cheyenne Day-Wilson, who ran through Clarkson's screen. That'll reset the shot clock.
Only her second personal foul, Day-Wilson's, but this Miami zone, we're seeing them play a bit of a 1-3-1 or 1-2-2, where they're matching up and even sending two people to the point guard up top, and Virginia having some troubles scoring out of it.
Cavaliers shooting percentages dipping here in the third quarter, under 50% from three now, under 50% from the floor, and another turnover. The fourth turnover of the game for Camryn Taylor. Cheyenne Day-Wilson. Active hands disrupt her trying to get into her shot. Spearman quiet in the second half. Really ever since she took that injury and had to put a mask on, and now there's a scramble on the floor and a whole lot to sort out. Took that whack from her teammate in the first half and has come out looking like Batman here in the second.
Yeah, what Virginia's missing in this second half has really been the balance. We saw early on in this game where they went high-low. They were able to get some mid-range game. They were able to hit a few threes, and now it's looked like they're trying to do one or the other. But it's hard when you have a Miami team that's running and throwing three jerseys at you at the same time.
And it's hard to run offense as well as Virginia did in the first two quarters. That wasn't bad, though. Johnson missed the three. But Virginia's just looked disjointed in the third quarter. It's managed to maintain the lead with tougher defense. The drive from Patrick, blocking foul on Alexia Smith.
Yeah, Alexia Smith thought she got there. She hustled to get to that spot, but was a step too slow there to try to get the charge, is what she was looking for.
And even though it wasn't a shooting foul, that puts Miami in the bonus, so Patrick will be headed to the line.
Miami has been able to get their way back into this game right there on that free throw line.
Every free throw attempted in this game has been in this quarter. And even though it's not their strength, they've had some of their better shooters being the ones to take the free throws, like Patrick. Brown. Alexia Smith. Jillian Brown wide open. And she drills it. Her second three of the game.
Great execution, getting the ball right into that paint and kicking it for a shooter.
And we have another foul call down low. It is amazing how this game has changed, and it's become a lot more staccato. But Miami is able now to draw fouls down low in a way it wasn't able to in the first two quarters.
Well, you think about it, Virginia's not making as many shots as they were before, right? And so Miami had to get the ball out of the basket, take it out, and all those things. That was slowing down their offense, and that's going against what they like to do. And here we're seeing Virginia you know, miss a few more shots than they're used to, and Miami's getting back in that rhythm. Maybe it's not every miss, but even off of makes, they're getting back in the rhythm of pushing the ball, because that's second nature to them.
Only 2 fast break points. They haven't been able to score on those fast breaks, but it's amazing that they only have 2 considering how much they like to run, and it's a great point because that break in transition for Miami is where they're drawing all of these fouls, and Virginia looking to make a changeup. They're throwing in the 6'7" Taylor Lauterbach.
Yeah, Lauterbach didn't see time in their last matchup against Syracuse, but is coming in here to hopefully make a difference over this zone to help on that backside.
Kymora Johnson came in for Camryn Taylor, who's found herself in a bout of foul trouble. Clarkson from the free throw line. Those were just going down in the first half, and now they're not.
Yeah, hard for Clarkson to come in and knock down a shot. She's only seen 11 minutes in this game so far. Hoping that her legs can get warm here so that she can make a difference, because that's her shot.
Dane Wilson loves that jumper but missed it. Lauterbach gets the rebound. Johnson. Alexia Smith, 9 points. Big game from her. Johnson from deep. Another one. Kymora Johnson on a bum ankle.
Way too much space if you are playing against the freshman in Johnson. Maybe you could lay off of her in the first week or even the first month of this season, but now she is shooting that with confidence, steps behind the three-point line, and now comes up with a steal.
How about this from the first year? She's just kept Virginia out in front with that three-pointer, shows up on defense as well, gets the crowd into the game. She is willing Virginia out in front, and it's huge to keep Miami at arm's length because Miami can score a bunch in a hurry. And those 2 second-half comebacks they've had in the last 2 weeks, Miami has averaged over 46 points in the second half in those 2 comeback wins.
Yeah, and we know that Virginia's third quarter is usually the one where they slack off a little bit, but here we're seeing a Johnson who is all confident-filled tonight.
All step back. She wanted it, heat check. Clarkson got the rebound, contact, no foul, and that's it for the third quarter. London Clarkson looking around for it, but it was Kymora Johnson at the end of the third quarter doing the job. The Cavaliers lead by 11 going into the fourth, and what could be a pivotal moment in both these teams' seasons late on. I tell you, Oldacre has not gotten a ton of the ball, but when she's had it, she scored almost every time.
And earlier in this game, they weren't necessarily drawing up plays for her, and now she has the entire paint to go one-on-one.
Alexia Smith having trouble with the pressure, and this is a tie-up that will keep the ball at this end of the floor, but switch the possession arrow to Miami, who's now only down 9. Oldacre leads all Miami players now with 12 points on 6 of 7 shooting.
Yeah, Oldacre's always been in presence for this Miami team. She's only averaged 5 points per game throughout this season and is really known for her rebounding, and tonight she's able to write a new story.
Yeah, well, the paint has been open against the Virginia defense. Clarkson, look at the dish to Lauterbach, but she missed the layup. Down 9 with the ball. Miami has 9 minutes to try and complete what would be a remarkable comeback, down by as much as 18 in the second half. Day Wilson cuts it to 7.
Yeah, we're going to see now Miami going one-on-one because, again, coach is all about matchups, and she has confidence that her players can take their opponent one-on-one 9 out of 10 times.
Jillian Brown's had a good shot today. Draws a couple defenders. Alexia Smith, Kymora Johnson with a window. Good rebound by Lattimore. Virginia's shooting continues to decline, now just 43% from beyond the arc, 44% from the floor. And Miami trying to go the other direction. It's Oldacre again. She was all alone, and honestly, Day Wilson could have just driven in and laid it up herself. That was a defensive breakdown, and the lead is 5. is bemused and bereft at what she just saw from Virginia's defense. It was quite the breakdown that prompted that timeout, Lauren.
Yeah, it's a simple horn screen here, and when the ball goes one way, the defender who's guarding that post player is supposed to roll with her player, but there was just a mental breakdown, and all the second half, I guess I should say, is this Virginia team has been slacking on their matchup assignments. They did such a good job in that first half of reading and knowing what each individual Miami player wanted to do, and now that has just gone out the window.
Virginia at one point led this game 52-34. Look at that crossover. Jillian Brown, big bucket for the Cavaliers.
Beautiful move. We've seen Jillian Brown do that exact behind the back move into her shot several times. Go into that right hand, shall I add.
A couple of players have popped up with big games for Virginia. Clarkson stopped the first, but not the second. Lattimore kept their feet.
Yeah, we see Camryn Taylor sub back into this game as well. Going to be an opportunity for maybe high-low looks like we saw in that first half between her and London Clarkson.
Latasha Lattimore having a monster game, 10.6 assists. Jillian Brown trying to add to her 10 points, missed it, but got the rebound after some battling from Camryn Taylor. New shot clock to work with. Taylor on the turnaround, missed it. Alexia Smith came flying in, but it falls for Lattimore. You can feel Virginia teetering. Miami's got to find the knockout blow to get itself all the way back. Oldacre on the dribble. Feeds Roberts, who got smacked on the way up.
London Clarkson coming in there and bailing her out there. It's a simple hand up to try to avoid that play. But, you know, you look at even the slow-mo of this, it's coming down to assignments, right? Like not allowing one dribble into the paint to even be an option for Miami. This is a team that likes to drive, so cutting that off should be a priority.
Yasmin Roberts, 80% on the season, but now just 3 for 5 in this game. We're getting down to every point matters territory. Important game for Katie Meyer and her program, who've been battling their way through this season, ups and downs, overtime games, and a deficit that was once 18 cut to 4. A season in miniature, perhaps, for Miami, who are right now a tournament team. The 9 seed in the ACC. What is a terrific conference this year. Alexia Smith. Got it back to the corner. She'll shoot it. Smith got another three-pointer. What a game for Alexia Smith.
Being a shooter, being a scorer first at a time where her team needs it the most.
Kymora Johnson now on the fast break. Oh, she missed the layup. And it's going to, well, the officials are trying to figure it out. It's going to stay at this end. Alexia Smith, how about this? 12 points, 7 assists for Alexia in this game.
Now she has experience. She's been able to come off the bench. It gives you an opportunity to see what your teammates like to do. She's a senior guard who's just been able to come in and be used in any which way that she needs to. And tonight she's able to see her own buckets go in, and oftentimes she's in the role of assisting. And today she's able to help her team out in a big way late here in the fourth quarter.
She's a good effort player, good athlete, able to grab a lot of rebounds in the guard position. She has a lot of energy and tenacity defensively. Camryn Taylor is displeased with the call, but it's an offensive foul on Virginia. And Alexia Smith had made 4 threes all year. She's made 2 in this game. She's had a couple more jump shots, and has found her confidence, as you had pointed out earlier, and that is paying off for Virginia in a big way. Now then, a 7-point ball game, 6 minutes left. Roberts getting aggressive, and it's working out nicely for Miami.
Now Miami, maybe it's a basket thing, Zealand. That basket seems to be the lucky basket tonight.
Everybody going right to left on your TV screen has been having a wonderful evening. Virginia in the first half, Miami in the second. Kymora Johnson. Jillian Brown steps into it. Alexia Smith couldn't quite get there, and if she can't get there, nobody was getting there. Remarkably, considering what this game could have turned into in terms of foul trouble, we have nearly none in the game. Natasha Lattimore has 3 fouls, but with just 5 minutes left, that's almost inconsequential unless she's able to pick up another one. Nobody else in the entire ball game's over 2.
Yeah, both these teams, they've been going at it too. Offensively, they've been on attack mode from the gate.
Oh, the rip by Kymora Johnson picked Jada Patrick clean on the way to the basket.
We're seeing Miami go back to their man-to-man options. Virginia's opportunity for them to do what they like to do.
Which in the second half's been turn the ball over, and they nearly did it again. Now 5 to shoot. Alexia Smith getting into her mode. Tough shot. He had an offensive foul. Yes, that was the call. A bit of an illegal screen, perhaps, on London Clarkson.
Sometimes us post players don't get our feet set, but it looked like there she was actually set and
took a whack to the face too from Day Wilson.
Bit of contact on both ends there.
Well, it's not like Virginia missed out on too much. The shot Alexia Smith had taken was blocked. It's either an offensive foul or a shot clock violation. So Miami ball down 5. Look at Jasmine Roberts.
Jasmine Roberts has come out of nowhere. Offensively, we knew she was capable of going downhill, but right now she has 13 points. Second leading scorer on the floor for Miami.
And she really was non-existent offensively for most of this game, but now she's hunting her shot. Kymora Johnson has been all over the place, goes with a scoop and answers.
And that's a smart basket. She had the opportunity to shoot a 3-pointer there, but when your team has been struggling to knock down long-range shots or even mid-range shots, it's better to get that high-efficient shot, which is that layup she had going to the left side.
Keeps it a 2-possession game. 3:45 to play. Cheyenne Day Wilson gets inside Alexia Smith. Shot too strong. Clark couldn't squeeze it. Battle for the ball. Spearman and Taylor. Taylor has it, and she's looking to move. Wisely backs it out. Miami has not had a possession where it was a 1-score game, and they had the ball since very early in this game. That would be a huge momentum boost for them. Clark to the basket, missed. What a bound by Taylor, and my goodness, the tie-up with Patrick was enthusiastic. And if that was indeed a jump ball, it will be Miami ball.
Good take here for Paris Clark to go right down the middle, but here looked like Taylor had control of the ball, but Patrick got her hand in there.
That a tie up for you?
I'd say she was on her arm, but it was pretty quick there. But hey, I don't get paid to be a ref.
Yeah, that's the harder job. We've got it easy over here. 5-point game. 3 minutes left. Jasmine Roberts has been the player of the hour for Miami. She lays it off. Spearman missed it. Rebound Taylor. Brunel in rhythm. Missed the shot. She's still scoreless today, but what a rebound by Alexia Smith. Boy, is she everywhere.
And man, I tell you, she's that utility player who does it all.
Johnson for 3. And Virginia's lead is back to 8 with 2.5 to play.
Talk about doing it all. Johnson has held her head all game long. When she goes down with an ankle injury, or a tweak, I should say, she gets back up and is able to get right back to business from behind the arc. She is 5 from 9 right now from deep range. And she's doing it with swag.
Well, she's carrying her team not just statistically, but emotionally as well. You can feel her at the end of the third quarter lift her team up with a big shot. And as Miami closes it to 3, she scores a quick 5 consecutive points to lift her team back out to a sizable lead. That's just not something you're used to seeing a freshman or a first year here at Virginia be capable of around a team like this.
Not at all, and you can tell that her coaches pour into her in that way. For her to do what is natural to her, which is score all 3 levels, the balanced approach, but also understand what pace and time looks like in an instance where they're up, but they need to make sure that they're taking good shots, not just open shots, right? She had opportunities to hit that 3 minutes ago, but she ended up getting to the basket and shooting a layup and making that layup. So it's all about being decisive with the shots that you get and making the most of it.
And it's not just the team leading 21 points, it's the defense like that. She has a team leading 3 steals, and that might just be her 4th.
Huge possession right there.
And she draws the foul from Cheyenne Day-Wilson. It felt for a moment like it was inevitable that Miami was going to come all the way back in this game, and then Kymora Johnson happened. Cheyenne Day-Wilson can happen too in the last 2 minutes plus, but this has been a real impressive show of resilience from Virginia. Brunell gets to her right hand. Brunell missed it. Taylor is there and sticks it back. And 1 for Virginia.
Tough finish for Taylor. We know that she's capable of taking on 2, but that started with Brunell's resiliency of getting in the paint. She got the ball in the middle, wasn't able to make it herself, but knows that her sister's on the other side of that bucket and is ready for an opportunity for an and 1.
Kymora Johnson's the new kid on the block. Camryn Taylor's been scoring a lot of points in this building for a long time. And she's teamed up with Johnson to try and put Miami at arm's length. Battle for the rebound. Oldacre able to secure it, but Miami has to go now. This got down to 63-60 Virginia, but the Cavaliers have strung together 7 quick points. Lattimore, she can hit that, misses the crossover, and it's Alexia Smith with the takeaway. She dishes to Johnson, to Taylor, and 1 again. Deja vu all over again.
Between Johnson and Taylor, I tell you, you can never be too surprised by what that duo may do. It starts on defense, the tenacity, the hands in the lane. And it comes down to making good decisions and feeding your big girl, who just happens to be one of the best in the ACC with finishing around the rim. Camryn Taylor is 7 of 11 tonight.
Oh, this league is fantastic. Virginia at just 4-10 in the ACC is making plays like that. And playing with such confidence down the stretch after losing so many tight games this season. Roberts needs it, doesn't get it, but it's a long rebound for Miami. Another long ball, missed. Roberts is there, she misses it, and then fouls Brunell.
Good way to secure that for Brunell. Miami getting desperate here on those rebounds, coming up with a foul there, but they're trying to get something to go here late, and only 1 minute and 18 seconds left. You can tell that there is a fight about them that they wish would have carried all the way from 3rd quarter into this 4th quarter, but Virginia got their swagger back in this 4th quarter.
Brunell with her first point of the night with just over 70 seconds left. She contributed to this game in a variety of ways, rebounds, steals, and now 2 points, a 14-point lead for Virginia. Day-Wilson to Patrick. Have to score on this possession, and they don't.
And you can see Kymora Johnson trying to test their luck right there, but she probably saw Coach Mott's out of the corner of her eye telling her to walk it down, have some patience.
Can't even imagine the heart attack Coach Mott's had when Kymora Johnson cocked that ball back like she was going to throw a full court pass. Paris Clark was fouled on her drive to the basket. 44 seconds. Virginia's up 14. Some resignation on the faces of the Miami players. The Cavaliers, wire to wire tonight, are going to win a very impressive ACC home game against a team that is in the tournament field right now. And we don't expect that to change with this loss. It is a loss to a team in the top 75 in the net on the road. So this is technically a quad one loss. But this is maybe a bit worrying for Miami because, that, like you said, every game is huge in this conference.
Yeah, it does not matter if an opponent in the ACC is ranked or not. This is a premier league, and every win, just as every loss, matters. Especially when you're heading into what should be an easy part of your schedule, right? Going into the ACC tournament.
And they're beating right now.
Oh,
if
yeah.
they can get into the top 9, they get the first day off. But it's not as easy a road as perhaps Miami might have. But like you said, there's no easy road left. So you just play the games you have.
Not at all. On the road in the next two against two teams who are playing really well right now. And Virginia also playing really well, right? So you never want to count anyone out, and there's always an opportunity on the table. And like we said, ACC tournament, boy, I tell you, that one day of rest does wonders.
Oh, well, even the psychological impact. The block by Taylor, and we're going to be able to play this out. You know how insane it is to have a team that's 12 and 13 coming into this game, but 54th in the BPI? Just a sign of how insanely good the ACC is.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd here at John Paul Jones Arena sounded its appreciation throughout the night. Lauterbach for 3. Well, that would have been the cherry on the sundae. Taylor got the rebound. Virginia can hold to win the game. Don't know if they know that yet. And Taylor will shoot and score. And Virginia, my goodness, by the end of this game, stretch the lead all the way back out. It's a 14-0 run unless this goes down. It doesn't. 14-0 run to end the game for Virginia.
They lost their lead in that third quarter, but it didn't matter.